still don't know how to get my sound working in the very beginning, first 5 seconds or so. I'm going to open up Windows Terminal, open up CMD, CD, interesting, CDC, I'm going to junk and Lisp, got some PDFs in there already. And then here I'll open up tmux, CD to mount, C, progs, and then here CD, mount, C, junk, Lisp. And then I want to add a scrolling feature to SumatraPDF. I'll call it SumaScroll. I bet. And really, I just want to scroll the pages really fast, one page at a time, the entire page. Because I always have PDFs I never get around to reading or looking at. So I just want to, if I ever download a PDF, run this script so my brain can claim it saw the PDF, the entire thing, basically. If for some reason you have a very old version of SumatraPDF without tabs, so if you have no tabs, then you need to use this when you call it on the command line to reuse the same instance. Else, if you have a 1,000-page PDF, it's going to open up 1,000 SumatraPDFs. So I'm going to say echo off, so it's not jibber jabbing back at me the whole time. Set local, and I'm going to put it in local. So whatever my script does to the environment, when the script's done running over here, it won't be left an environment over there. It'll disappear with a script. And so I'm going to set the file name equal to the first argument on the command line, set the first page to the second argument, and set the last page to the third argument. And then we need to have a for loop. A lot of things in the batch file have to be stuffed in a for loop, even if you don't need one. We're here, we would, but I'm sure if we add stuff to this, we'll see plenty of places where we wish we could just grab a variable somewhere, and you can't without a for loop very easily anyway. And then percent last page, percent. So we're going to loop for each page from first page, increment by 1 to the last page. And then now we need to come over here so we can tab complete to find the correct path. So users, rivet, app data, I believe is where it is. And then Sumatra, local maybe. Local, Sumatra, SumatraPDF.exe, there we go. And then page, %, %p. Now, if I was running this from here outside of a batch file, you only use 1%, so it'd be %p. But you need 2 of them inside the batch file because it's escaping it. And I'll come back over here. And I got setf up here. Are we on Lisp? I think not. So now if I come over here and say SumaScroll, do I want to show this? Because this is going to mess up if I don't open SumatraPDF first. So let's go on Lisp, scroll from page 1 to 50. Notice the page is not scrolling. So what happened is it opened SumatraPDF and started trying to scroll. And this PDF, maybe if I don't have so many PDFs open already, but I don't want to close those, because that's the stuff I'm messing with right now. So now it's in a freaky state. So if I try to close this, it's going to keep reopening it. So the easiest way is just to close this thing out. Let's recall CMD again. And then CDC, junk, Lisp. And then let's do SumaScroll. Now that the PDF is already open though, it doesn't matter. So I can say 110. Now the pages should scroll real fast. Now here I can see, because I opened it up already, that there's 426 pages. So if I wanted to scroll through the entire book real fast, I can do this, and while it's scrolling, I can hit F11. This is basically what I want to do. Let's just have every page flash before my face, so my brain has now seen this on list PDF, even if I never get around to reading it. So for my purposes, that's pretty much all I need. But one thing that's kind of tacky is that I need to open this up, which I don't mind doing, but you saw how it locked up, so could add like functionality to where it waits if it's not already running, let's say. And then to try to grab the pages, maybe I could just go over that, but that's kind of obnoxious. Maybe I should do that last. But you saw how this could scroll, and you can add to it, so maybe I'll just show trying to grab data from a like how do I know how many pages are in here without opening it up first? Which I can't really find a good way to do it. One thing that's useful is having strings. So normally on Windows by default, you don't have strings. But sysinternals has a strings for Windows. So sysinternals strings, they have a kind of like a little package with all their stuff in it. But you can also just grab each one individually, which most of their stuff's cool, so it's not too big a deal, but they do have stupid things like a blue screen of death, screensaver and stuff like that that you might not want. So here you can just grab this. I already used that, so it's already on here. So if you said strings on Lisp, let's say, then it'll run through and grab a bunch of strings, but there's so many of them that you might want to say like find string and then count. Some PDFs you can grab a count with. I'm going to go by a literal, so I think it's /c like this. And then I want a space there on Lisp.pdf. There we go. And then here, there was 426, so you can see that it's here. You can see that I have been able to find, using count, how many pages there are. But this is kind of tricky, or like might trick you or something. I can't think of the word I'm looking for right now, but it's not dependable, because you could grab 100 PDFs and all of them would have the count in there. But I would say like maybe 30% of PDFs will have that count in there that I've come across anyway. So you just can't depend on that at all. I think I will close this so it doesn't get in my way. So there are some tools for that, but if I were to be on more on like a Linux side, then you could say strings, and we could grep for that. Grep, like count, let's say. I did the same thing again. I need on Lisp PDF. There we go. And then I guess on the Linux side, there's convenient ways you can do this just to get the count out of there. So we could say like, let's just do the same thing we just did. And then we'll use like Perl pkre, and then we'll put a space after this. This -P is not on BSD boxes, so I don't know why I'm doing it this way, but this is more compatible with, instead of putting a /s++, but this isn't even on. Oops. So now we have 426 by itself. And then here, I guess we could sort this because now it's a number. Sort as a number and then unique it, because like you see there's so many 10s sitting there. And then from here, let's just say like tel -1. And then now we could find that. So now we have how many pages are in that book. And then we could try this with common Lisp language. And that one's 1096. And there was that Lisp E one in here also. I think that's uppercase, there we go. 644. So let me list this right here though. Here's the ANSI standard, we could try that one. So in this one, I think most of these PDFs, they're just random PDFs I grabbed. And you see how it's working. Yeah, 1360 pages in the ANSI standard. This right here, though, I threw this one in here because it does not have it, I don't think. It's just 2 pages on this book. It's just a PDF, not even a book. So if I said ref C, then I get nothing back. So you might dig around inside the PDF and try to find other things. Like if you just run strings on Lisp, then that's basically all the stuff you could try to dig at and try to find something in there. But it's not easy. I would say grep for the page number, open the book up, grep for the page number, and then go from there. But it's just not a very good way to do it. And because this wouldn't work on BSD with the P, you might use Perl. I mean, I don't really want to go through all these, I don't think. Could use sed, Perl. But I think it'll be obnoxious for me to go through each of these things when nobody cares about that, maybe. So what I will say is there's a Qpdf. We can come over here actually to this, and then winget. Can we just say search Qpdf? And this is a C program, I want to say. I've already got it installed, and it's just for messing with PDFs. But it does have a decent option for grabbing. So I can say Qpdf. And on the Linux side, I have that too, I think. I think I have this on the Windows side. So Qpdf, show pages, show end pages maybe. And then on Lisp, let's say. Can I use a dot link here? There we go. That's in my path, so I can do this. I don't know why it wasn't put in there to begin with. And that ref one, and actually strings ref, because it's only 2 pages, maybe it won't be too bad. But here's just a 2-page PDF, all the different strings. And I'll hit Q to get out of there. Come over here. Let's say strings on the ref one. And then let's just grep 2. And then we'll pipe that to less. And just see which pages. Oh man, having trouble typing today. Or is that every day? I think every time I make a video. So here's just a lines with 2 in it. And then we can see, like, here's a link. That's not going to help us for 2 pages. Like the only thing that even looks like it might be nice is this line right here. But this is an indirect object. So maybe if we did the same thing with objects. Then you'll see the one we thought might be nice. But look, here's 49. So these could be like, these are just all the indirect objects inside the PDF, so it's not going to be good for counting pages. I don't really know. Like I said, like this grabbing for the count. Sometimes I have like 100 PDFs in a file, and it'll get 98, 99 of them, and only one of them won't be there. But now if I throw 1,500 PDFs inside a folder somewhere, then it's usually like 30%. So that's why Qpdf will be useful. There's another tool too that's written in Perl, and it's called ExifTool. I want to say this is in WinGet too, so you could use this ExifTool. Let me search. The only thing I would say about this ExifTool, for whatever reason, if you install it through WinGet, I want to say it's going to give you the 32-bit version, and there is a 64-bit version. So keep that in mind. I don't know why someone would do that. Maybe just to be more compatible, but like I think it should default to the 64-bit, and people with 32-bit can worry about their problems instead of throwing that on my system, I guess. But ExifTool, I want to say when you install that, it'll throw it in your path. That Qpdf did not. And so there's a tech T for tabular, and then the page count, and then we'll just say common list language, and then it comes back with the number. If I get rid of the T, you'll see the rest of the junk it came with. So page count, this tabular format is just basically making it to where I just get the thing that I want to see. And you can also call it with minus S3. So if I say like minus S3, then that will give me the 1096 only. And then you could say S2, it'll give you a little bit more information. And S1 is the same information, just stretched out. And then instead of calling S, you can just use a capital S, and it gives you the shortest version. Or not. I guess it gave me the short version. So you could just add the T on here, I guess, which then you don't need this anymore. Or use the S3. And then here we could say actually, I think page count. So let's do it like this. Let me just retype it all. ExifTool, and then we could say like minus T. I'll get rid of it and then I'll add what I want. File name, page count, and then we want extensions, PDF, and this folder right here. And then this one right here we'll go through and grab. Oh, another thing, using a tool like this is nice because if there was spaces, like right here, spaces in the file, when trying to, even on Linux, trying to grab every file in a folder with a regular expression can be a pain in the butt when there's weird characters, not just spaces, but other weird characters sitting around. So keep that in mind, where we could do like a find if we were on the Linux side. With a Qpdf, it doesn't have an option that I know of that ExifTool is for all kinds of files. So getting metadata out of thousands of different types of files. So if you just want something for PDFs, maybe Qpdf or ExifTool if you want a more extendable. Oops, I'm in the wrong shell for that. But if I wanted to run this with Qpdf, then we could say like find dot minus type, look only for files, iname, let's just do a star.pdf, and we'll exec sh with Qpdf minus show in pages. And this is really a lot faster. if you're actually on the Linux box, oops, I actually hit return so it can hit that space there. But if I was on a Linux or something box, just because I'm in, what's this thing called? This Windows Linux WSL. That's the reason it's running so slow. So here's how you can find the pages. The page numbers, I guess. So I don't know if I should show like the script. Let's just put it, because I know it works on like the, what's it called? Oops. Control-V-L. Can you switch pages for me? So like if I was to say strings on common Lisp, the language, .pdf, and grep count, let's say, then let's just see this right here. So if you were able to find out how to do that, then we could show this maybe. So we'll just try to get the page count of that one book. It's not going to work for any other ones. So we'll just say like for %% and %grep count, let's call it. I'm going to hard code this. Should I just comment this stuff out maybe? Another thing too is, like, you can make a comment like this or like this, but inside a for loop, these comments will not work. So if I wanted to comment this line out right here, then I can't use that. I would have to use this. Just keep that in mind, I guess, if you don't know, messing with this. I'm just going to come over here and REM these guys. So it's obvious that I might want to come back to that. So let's say I want to get for string into a variable inside of a batch file. That's where, like, you think I should be able to use like find string, just say like set some variable to find string count, but that won't work. So you can make it work with a for loop, which is kind of strange, but it's a popular way to do this. So I'm just going to use the tokens of star and then %i, and let's say find string, and then I want to use like a literal string to try to grab, and then I'm going to grab that thing we saw a second ago. I think it was like this, and there's a space, and then it was C junk Lisp, common Lisp, language.pdf. And then we can do a do. And then we'll say set grep count equal to %i. We'd change this to be delimiters to be able to grab from on Lisp also, I guess, but just for this one book. And then now we can say for I in grep count, do set get count equal %i. And then now if I echo get count, it'll show that on the command line. And now we can try to suma scroll. It's hard coded now, right? Now it's equal to 96. Because I put too many equals here. I was thinking %. Right. So now should just move this up here maybe and make more sense. And then now to get around this, to cheat, maybe I'll just come over here and say, like, set last page equal or just to make it even easier, we'll just change this piece for now. Oops. To be get count. It's not locked up. Because I needed those other things over there, don't I? For that part to run, maybe. So Suma scroll 1, 1. That doesn't matter, right? And then it needs to be on list 1, 1. There we go. So it's getting the page count. I want to say with that scrolling, if I click over here, it jumps back over here. Everything else can work. Like I can go to a different window and it's cool. But like now it's freaking out. So let me close this window. I did something wrong, but I'm not going to worry about it because it's kind of irrelevant at the moment. CDC mount junk Lisp. Not in the Linux side, junk Lisp. To get back on track, I'm kind of messing with stuff that doesn't really matter with this right here, because I need to use one of those other programs. Last page, and then just to make sure this isn't going to freak out, let me run Suma scroll on Lisp. I wonder if that page, that book wasn't open. I thought it was. Pretty sure it was actually. Oh, I keep doing that. If I hit tab, it gets rid of it. Like when I tab complete, so I'm trying not to tab complete when I'm in the CMD. Yeah, I know. Normally, when this thing's scrolling, you can do other stuff in other windows. But if you click on this one, it's going to jump back over here because that's what the script is. And then now, I think I'll try just to write the script. In a way using, I'm going to probably use just EnableDelayedExpansion. So, and add a pause in between the pages if you want one, basically. Which I imagine would just be better hard-coded. But I'll make it to where it's one of these guys over here too, I guess. So we'll add sleep time now. Why not? So we'll say sleep time. It's going to be ignored unless %4 is passed. This is why now I have to pass all this. And then we'll say set sleep time equal %4. And if you want to put a comment after the line, you go like this. And then now I can add a comment here if I wanted to. By the way. And then there's, well, like an old way to get a wait a lot of people do inside of a batch file is using a ping. So you'd say like ping in like N3 and then wait milliseconds. So if you wanted to wait 100 milliseconds and then 127.0.0.1. But for some reason in Windows 10, it doesn't respect, well, at least in the Windows 10, I only have 2 Windows 10s to test with, but like it doesn't respect the wait time between the pings. The first one would happen really fast anyway, so you'd at least have to do it twice to get like a time. So now I guess you could try to time it with the ends instead. So you could say like 6, just ping localhost 6 times to wait, like however long it's taken to do that. But you can no longer tell it like wait 10, 16, 20 milliseconds or whatever. And then I guess another way is PowerShell, which is the way I'm going to do it. And then there's also a timeout that you can put in a batch file. So timeout /t, but it's in seconds again. /t, and then you can say like no break, and then throw that to null. So there we get 3 seconds. But I don't know, like if you have 1,000 pages and you wait a second for each one of them, then you're going to be there for a while. And then another one too is wait. This isn't in all of them, but wait for T1, and you can pause. And then to throw this in the nulls like this, I want to say. But I think this one actually has to be there we go. But once again, you're waiting for seconds. So to get around that would be to call PowerShell. And then we can throw a no-op -c, and then we'll say and then we'll give it a sleep -m, and then a sleep time in milliseconds. Now, the thing here is you're not really going to get slower than, I want to say like 16 milliseconds. Oops, can't use Control E. So, like if I put 0, it's not going to get faster than the 16 probably. So, in most instances, just the fastest you can go is 16 milliseconds. unless your system clock is set to a higher resolution. System clock or processor. In most programs, like programs you can make it go faster. Some programs will set it to be faster. So if you happen to be running this and something else set it to be faster, a higher resolution, and it's fine. But I want to say by default, it's like 16 milliseconds. So that's what I'll use inside the script. To pause it is PowerShell. And then now we can say, just going to put that down a little bit lower so it doesn't get in my way. I think now we'll get the page count. How do I want to do this? Let's just say, add argument. We'll get the argument count from the command line. And then, yeah, if it's one argument, so if argc is 1, then set the first and last page automatically. Oops. What did I just do? Okay. I must have like some jacked up setting in my vim settings. And then while I'm thinking about it, I need to add this so I don't forget later, I think. Hopefully I'll remember to explain why I'm putting that there. And then what do we have? Set sleep time equal %4. I'll have to remember my vim is not letting me undo stuff correctly. But I won't worry about that right now. Just try not to make that mistake again, I guess. Okay, so we're going to get the argument count from the command line. And if there's only one argument, then get the first and last page automatically. So we're going to set argc to 0. And when you're setting these variables, like if you do this, then your variable is space 0. So keep that in mind that you don't want spaces. Like in most languages, it don't matter if you do that or not. But in here, %% and %* do set /a, trying to make this be arithmetic, argc plus equal 1. So just in my args up here that I'm passing in, including this one, which is what this is, do set, and then I'm setting with /a. I'm not sure why I capitalized that, but it doesn't matter. To make this an arithmetic, argc be arithmetic, so I can add to it basically. And then I'll say like if %argc %, and it needs to be in quotes like this, equal 1. Then we're going to set the first page. Equal 1. And then set last page to be best count. Do I want to put that there though? Like best count? I think I'll set this to be the first page. And then just use Exiftool maybe. So for /f %i in Exiftool -t page count %filename %1% sorry for that, and then do set last page %i, and close that, and then let me echo last page. So now if I don't have those guys, sumo scroll on Lisp. Yeah, let me do the ref because it's shorter. Ref C. So that one works. That will give me the other page. So go up. Is it happening too fast or did it mess up? It's not echoing that either. I think I missed the equal sign right here. Trying to see first page equal 1. I want to say not closing this other guy here. There's an F here. There's a 4 here. Wow. When indentation matters, eh? Will this work now? Oops. All right, at least it's doing something more. And then grab this, go down here. So now it knows there's 2 pages. And I've been spending so much time in Emacs now. I'm always hitting the wrong keys and doing the wrong things in Vim. You think I would use like Evil to load or something, or Doom Emacs, but oh well. Okay, we finally got it to scroll. Which now we can go to a bigger book. I think that on Lisp. Is there a smaller one in here? I think all those pages were just so many. On Lisp is going to be the next one. What else is in here? Is there like this primer? Oh yeah, here's a book. I threw this one in here just because of this. This is the only book that I've seen that doesn't like to go fast. I want to say it's old. I'm certain the PDF, it's like from 1965. I don't know if this PDF is that old. I don't know how old the actual PDF is. Exiftool could tell us probably. Oh, you see it? Just barely some of it. So, bad example. It is shorter though. I think the rest of them are just long. I was trying to get old stuff that people wouldn't care about. See, this one's fine. That's the only one I've seen so far where if I try to scroll at full speed that it just freaks out. So that one needs to be paused a little bit at least. Although that might be like all, like it looks like it was scanned, so it's all JPEGs or something in there, which might mean that other PDFs are all JPEGs. Might not be able to keep up with the scrolling that fast. It's not rendering quick enough. I don't know. So that's definitely a possibility there. Something to keep in mind. Okay, so let me split this apart and put this down because that was messing me up earlier. And then this is the arg-count. So I'm just going to say end arg-count. And I don't want that to be there. This echo page goes here. I think I'll leave that there for now. And maybe I'll just grab this line actually. And then maybe next we should try to see if SumatraPDF is running. Like that. So this way, it doesn't lock up on us. So I need to check if it's running first. If it is running, wait a couple seconds. Probably if without all these other books open, it wouldn't be as big a deal. Maybe that other one could render faster, but I doubt it. And what's the best way to do this? So from the batch file, it's going to be a little bit different. Because task list doesn't have a return code that works correctly inside there as far as I can tell. Never tell if that's the way I'm spelling it correctly or not. So percent error level. So you can see right here, return 0. Now if we say the same thing, and then use find string, you have to spell it correctly here. No, it finds it. And now we have error level 0. So I'll also run the first one, this one, and tell it to give me my echo error level. It's giving me 0, but don't let that fool you if you're having issues. It looks like it's doing the same thing, but inside the batch file, this one's not dependable, where fine string one is, from my experience. So we want to take this, put this over here. Oh my god. Shift insert, not Control Y. And then now, should I comment this? Sumatra is not running. Wait a couple seconds to start scrolling. Else it locks up. Checking it won't close. Else can't close. SumatraPDF. I just want to say, like, I can't close viewer. I hate typing that word so much. So now we'll say if error level is equivalent to 1, which I guess I didn't show. So if we close that and then run this, and we get our error level, it's 1. If I, is this where it matters maybe? Because it's not running. When it was running, it was fine. So here's where it matters. This right here, when it wasn't running, didn't give us the 1 that we wanted. That's why. So I want to start. Do I want to guess, did I get it correct, or am I going to type this out again? Or can I grab it up top up here? That's down here. I forgot I moved it. And here I will use timeout. So I'm just waiting 3 seconds. Might need to be 4, it could be less, especially if you don't have so many PDFs open. I'm hoping 3 seconds will be all right. And this stuff just so it doesn't mess with my script and it doesn't echo crap out. And And here we can check because it's not running now. So if we say suma scroll 1, 1, 2, the ref C1, well, that one's going to start too fast, isn't it? So let's just say 110, comma list of language. I normally run this command like this in my version. Suma scroll, comma list of language 110. What's incorrect about my stuff now and why? Well, for one, what am I doing here? This stuff, I just added on there. Sorry, guys. Missing double quote there at least. Okay. There we go. I wonder if I can put an @ sign there. Nope. If I close this guy. There we go. So now that part's working. Sometimes the @ signs will suppress some stuff, but apparently it's not working on those guys. Make sure it still works like that. And the other one's just this that echo last page. I left that there. Let me separate this stuff though, so I don't get confused while I'm talking. And check if SumatraPDF running. And then down here, bring this guy up some now. Just say like, scroll through pages. And here we'll add the weight. No, it's the fourth arg up top. Yeah, you can see it right here. So I'm not going to worry about which arg this should be, but now you'll have to type out all those things for it to be the right one. So kind of tacky, I think, but I'm kind of done doing this script, and probably nobody's watching anymore anyway, but we'll say like if not %4, if not the fourth argument, equal nothing. And we should run the PowerShell. No op command that we had earlier. Actually, this should probably go in here. And so on this pad, 426 pages. So if we say summa scroll, oh, we don't have to scroll through them all, do we? If I say like summa scroll on Lisp, page 10 to page 50, it's a wait time of 16 milliseconds, so that's the slowest I can go anyway. The fastest I can go, I mean. I could definitely go slower. How many times am I going to do that? It's on list.pdf 10 from page 10 to 50 at 16 millisecond wait time. Close, buddy. There we go. Versus, oops, this feed. And then, like, if you wanted to wait 1 second, which is why we're using milliseconds. Oops. So not used to being in CMD. Yeah, there's not 1,000 pages. I don't know what it does now. It's like, there's not 1,000 pages. Now it's stuck again. Oh, it actually finished finally. Then I hit Control C, but I think it finished before I hit that, but I'm not positive. 50 and then 1,000. So this was a 1,000-page book. Might take a while to look at all the pages. So that's a second's just too slow for me. But now that it's running slow, look, if I click over here, now it's back over here. So you can see down here it's toggling back and forth. So I can come over here and hit Control C. Oops, it switched before I hit Control C. And it'll ask, do you want to terminate the job? So I can hit yes. I can get out of there. When it's running really fast, that's really hard to do. And so probably that's as slow as I'd ever want to go. What? My enter button wasn't working. I know my shift key's messed up, but my enter button's messed up now. So I believe that is ribbit.